Hey, good morning, everybody. I didn't mean to upset anybody by my post last night. My eyes and stuff, and when my anxiety gets so bad, I can't really see that well. So I guess doing the video will be a lot easier. I see everybody hurting and stuff, and I literally physically feel the pain of other people. That's why I have to set boundaries. I've talked about it before. When you have triggers and stuff, and the first thing that you have to do is take care of yourself first, because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others, which we all know that. We're important first. Good morning, Jody. Setting boundaries and stuff is not, it's makes it healthier for you to be able to function, because whatever traumas you've been through. Hi, sweetie. We all have gone through something. Some of us similar, and other times. Sorry, my glass is falling down. I can't really see. My eyes are really bad because my anxiety. I'm in this temporary house, and it's making my anxiety, my triggers really bad, and flashbacks and stuff. And so I haven't been able to sleep right at all. This group has been very helpful. I'm sad to see everybody else suffering and in pain or going through so much. And with PTSD, there's not really a cure. And I've heard them saying about PTS that they're trying to take off the disorder part, like it can go away, like we can get over it, or like it's just take these meds. But those make me numb, so I can't take those. I don't feel like I'm depressed because I had to do a little survey deal with my therapist yesterday. And we kind of opened up a little more than we usually do. So for my last month of being here before I move, I asked her if I can come in twice a week. And she's going to do it. Because an hour for me is not long enough to, you start talking about something, but then for me, I jump from one topic to the other, and I'm trying to work on that. And it's really hard, especially when you're having flashbacks or you're talking about your trauma to anybody. It's very, very difficult. And I have a lot of triggers. I mean, it could be something very small. It's not just smells or a place. And it doesn't even have to be that place of where it actually happened. It could be anywhere else. Or I could see somebody else, like my PTSD trigger warning. That's why I put a trigger warning just in case for mentioning abuse or anything. I don't know if I'm going to go into detail or anything, but my gut is hurting just thinking about that I had to open up even more, and I had to find somebody else to start all over. And I'm feeling, I get told that I'm a complicated case or I got a lot of issues, and I'm like, well, thanks for their honesty and stuff, but if you're not going to help me, then tell me. Don't keep me coming and there and open up, and then you're just going to throw me away, you know what I mean, or judge me. I had a pretty bad childhood, and I know most of us have. And the thing is us stopping the cycle of with our own kids, if you have kids. If not, it's not just that. It's with our friends, our family. If I really don't have family anymore, I don't. I blocked my adoptive mom, but she still calls, and I accidentally answer the phone. Even though I blocked her phone, I don't know how to fix that. I don't want to answer her phone calls anymore. She triggers me. I didn't realize that my adoptive mom was part of my reason for my PTSD, but it makes sense because she's in denial of the abuse that my father did to me and to my half-brother and my sister, which she has passed away 10 years ago. And the last thing I said to her, I bumped into her 5 months before she passed away, and my adoptive mom wouldn't let me see her at the hospital when she was on breathing tubes, even though she was in a coma, or she was pretty much brain dead. And she had to pull the plug on her. I didn't find out until years after what had actually happened, and she passed away from a pulmonary embolism. For years, I blamed myself that it was my fault. Okay, Eric. Good morning. Thanks. I will have to do that because I think that every time I talk to her, because like the other day, I brought up about my sister, but it was a good memory. And that's what I do is like for something sad or I try to, out of a negative, I try to always bring something positive. It doesn't have to be something humorous or, yeah, good morning, y'all. But when I said her name, I said Heather, and she just, or like say, oh, Heather used to like that, or Heather and I used to do this together, and I miss that. And she'll be like, oh, I gotta go eat dinner or something. She always has an excuse to get off the phone. So why do I keep on trying to have a relationship with her when I know she doesn't have unconditional love for me? And I'm never going to get her approval ever. So like I said in the beginning, setting boundaries is something, you are in control. Even if you're still in a situation where it is, you're not in control. Like with my situation with my husband, we are separated but married. He's very controlling. It's even just emotionally controlling. And it's like gaslighting. If you've ever heard of gaslighting, I'm going to find some more information on that and share it because I've heard from other people in the group that they, kind of the same, they're going through the same kind of thing. It's an emotional abuse, that somebody, kind of twists your words in a way, if that makes sense. But I'll share more about that if anybody else knows more about the gaslighting. But it is a form of abuse as well. He's not physically abusive anymore or sexually abusive to me. The times that he was, the last times, trigger warning, was when my DID, dissociative identity disorder, gets bad. I only found out about 2 years ago. I have 9 alter personalities, so he has hurt 3 of my alters. And I think that's why they haven't come back out, but I feel like they're trying to, it's hard to explain, it's hard to tell other people because it is so rare to have this disorder label. I hate it. But yes, that's very true, Eric. We don't get to choose our families at first, but like this group, like we're sort of a family. We're a support family. And this is the only group that I really feel that, and last night when I posted about, I was going to take a break from the group, it was really I didn't get to finish, I didn't really explain myself. It was, my vision is really bad because of my anxiety. And then sometimes with my anxiety, I don't know if anybody else has this happen, where I get like full body paralysis, or it'll start in my neck and then I can't move. It could be for hours. The longest time was like 16 hours. And then I disassociate, and then my grounding techniques don't work. And I have to be in the hospital, I have to get shots or this or that to, untense my whole body. It's like my body goes in total shock. It's very scary. And it makes sense for why, like during trigger warning, during child abuse, during my childhood, I went through every form of abuse. Not just, I haven't really spoken about before what my dad did, but my bio mom, what she did. She abandoned me and my my sister that passed away 10 years ago. She abandoned us before I was 2 years old with a babysitter, never came back to go party. She used to leave pill bottles out, alcohol in our bottles. We had skin disease from head to toe because she didn't bathe us, clean us for probably ever since we were born. They said it was so filthy for our house, but I only remember from 2 years old on. And I wish I didn't remember everything, but I don't remember that. But I met her 9 years ago, a year after my sister passed away. Thanks, Eric. And that was the biggest mistake I ever did, was meeting her, because everybody would tell me that she, schizophrenic, drug-induced, I guess. I don't know. She was very wired and stuff and talking to me. I think she was on something when I met her. She got me in a car accident 2 minutes after I got in the truck, right in front of the police station, ran a red light with a cop at the same light, and was trying to do this whole, oh, I haven't seen my daughter in 20 years and we're reuniting and yada, yada, yada. And the light, my daughter can say it was, the light was green. And I just kept my mouth shut because I was in shock. I just got T-boned on my side. in the truck, and all she cared about was her vehicle getting towed. She didn't care and see if I was okay. And I thought people can change after 20 years. Some people just don't. And so that's why I'm saying, like, breaking this cycle. Like, I'm a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And the stuff that I went through as a child, I will not do that with my son. And like my husband, I have to get on to him about some of the things because those trigger me. Well, so I am not going to get back in contact with my bio mom. That really hurt my adoptive mom because I left her a note on the fridge. It was after I graduated from high school. So I was about 19, almost 20 when I met her. And I had put a note on the fridge saying, I'm going to Florida. I'm going to meet my real mom. And I just said, love you. She was really hurt by that I was going to go meet my other mom. But I was told all these horrible things, and I had to see for myself. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has had to, do something so, out there, and that it's probably the outcome is not going to be good, but you still just have to get those answers. And I'm glad I did, because now I know that my bio family is horrible. They're horrible. And I'm glad that I wasn't raised by them. But the fact that when I was with my bio dad, trigger warning again, I have to let this out. I've been holding this in. It's causing me a headache. And my dad is the reason for my PTSD. My triggers are so bad that I can't do daily stuff at all. Like, it's that bad. I can't take baths anymore. I can't even let the water run in the bath. I have so many triggers. I can't drive anymore. It's not just because of my spine. I disassociate so bad that I feel like I'm back in the moment, literally, if I get behind the wheel. Trigger warning. My dad is, for when I was 12, I think he was hurting me before. Thanks, Jody. Sorry if this is going to upset anybody, but I thought my husband was coming out, and I don't. I mean, he knows, but he knows all my triggers and stuff. And my dad said that he was going to teach me to drive at 12 years old. So just to sit on his lap, and that's what he did. He took advantage of me as I'm screaming in the middle of the daylight, and I could see a house in the distance on a dirt road, but nobody could hear me. Nobody could see me. And he kept on doing it. He was ex-military, and he used to take me on Fort Hood, onto the base, and out to the field because he knew where to hide me, where no one could hear me, and do whatever he wanted with me and take photos of me. And those photos are out there online of me at 18 years old. And so seeing sexual stuff, I can't do those things. And my husband gets upset because we haven't done anything since August, but my health is so bad I can't anyways. But he has hurt 3 of my alters, and they have called him my dad during the time that they're out. I don't know if anybody else that deals with DID. I just don't know how you could hurt your own kids, whether they're adopted or bio, or why did my sister have to die? She was hurt too, and my adoptive mom is in such denial that she was abused too, because I asked my sister 10 months before she died. I had a phone call with her because she didn't show up for Father's Day, because the only time after I told my dad at 14, I still had to see him because it didn't matter if I avoided him. He was stalking me. He stalked me at my school, at my jobs. Even when I moved out, he stalked me and would try to get into my apartment. Nobody did anything about it. Every time I told on him, got away with it. My adoptive mom's husband, my stepdad, which I don't really call him my stepdad or anything, just his name. His sister works for Child Protective Services in our hometown in Texas, and it's a small little hick town. and everybody pushes stuff under the rug. And I know that kind of sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's not. And when I say it to my doctors or to anybody, which I don't just say it to anybody, you know, what I went through, but they did. I found out last year that it was true. My adopted mom accidentally bursted it out that my brother and sister spoke with her behind closed doors, my stepdad's sister who works for CPS. And they weren't going through counseling or therapy or anything. So she never did it with me, but she was trying to do messages with me on Facebook and trying to get me to open up and stuff. And, you know, the wrong way and not legally. And so my dad got away with it. Well, I found out a couple of years ago that my dad last year he quit after a kid committed suicide at the academy that he was working at after he retired in 2005, the year that I graduated from high school. And I haven't contacted this academy, but it's all boys from grades 6 through 12. And there's a lot of allegations there, and I know that he's hurt them. And it's a trigger warning for me because camping is a trigger. I can't go camping. I can't make those memories with my son, but my son's very OCD anyways and doesn't like being dirty or in the dirt or this or that anyway. So I'm kind of glad for that so I don't have to do that. My dad used to take us camping. He bought land when I was a teenager and would take my brother and sister and I and have my brother and sister sleep in the same tent and then me and him in another tent and force me to do stuff with him while my brother and sister are in the other tent. And like I said, with my anxiety or any trauma, I would be fully paralyzed and I can't move. So I can't say no. I can't stop. I can't fight back. I don't know if anybody else gets that way. Has anybody else ever, during a traumatic time or panic attack or anxiety? Thank you all for the support. I don't know how I'm opening up and letting this out because this is really hard for me. This is really, really hard. This house is triggering me so bad, living here. My husband's like, well, we can leave and go into a hotel. Well, I told him yesterday I can't go to a hotel and live for 38 days because it's a trigger for me. I lived in and out of hotels and was hurt and abused by so many people that they all got away with it. There's only one guy that has got in trouble. I had to go to court. He's the reason why I had to get an abortion because he beat me so bad. They said the baby wouldn't survive. I've had a couple of miscarriages too because of abuse. My husband and I actually had a ectopic 7 years ago, and it was because of the emotional abuse that I left him and he went on deployment. And then we got back together. And he found me, literally, I was homeless on the corner. And he gave me like $300. I was with some loser guy who was very suicidal. And I was only staying with him so he wouldn't hurt himself. But every time I say I was going to try to leave or walk away or he would follow me around, I saved his life. He almost fell in the Pacific Ocean because he was so wasted. And when I saw my husband, when we weren't together then, but he had come back from deployment, and now that since ever we've been together, and he got back together with me, and I moved back in with him, I feel like I'm just the girl on the street, on the corner that nobody loves, that nobody cares about. And that's all I'm going to be. Is everywhere I've lived, the house has always been on the corner, except for this one here, this temporary house, but like a regular house being there. But I've always felt like that people just feel sorry for me, and they're not really there for me. Not this group, not y'all. Y'all have been awesome, and I've made some really great friends. It really hurts, and I don't know how I'm holding all this in. I don't want to live in this house anymore. I don't want to move to California with him. I just want my son and my dogs to be with me. But I can't leave because he got temporary custody of our son 2 years. Sorry, my alarm went off. medication time. But that's just for my pain and my anxiety. But no, my husband has hurt me so much that, like I said, my alters call him my dad, because in some way he looks a lot like my dad and how facial features or some of the things he says. Like I said, he knows all my triggers, you know. Sorry, Eric. I hope that you feel better. I'm still not healing after my surgery, and with the stress and anxiety and then moving and everything else. Hugs, Jody. I hope that you're doing well, and I mean, I feel like that I've been ignoring and stuff and everything. Oh, yes, he does, Eric. He does do it purposely. He laughs he laughs at me for stuff, or like we try to have a conversation, and you know, he doesn't make eye contact, and I get onto him for it, and he has an excuse like right then and there, like all of a sudden, like he has an answer for everything. I found out 2 years ago that I finally knew that he was cheating. I had a feeling and stuff and everything, but he finally admitted. The one time we went to marriage counseling, it was right after we got back together, and we've been together 7 years, married 6 years last month. But he admitted it in marriage counseling. I had dropped the restraining order from NCIS from him for what he did to me. He took advantage of my protector altar. And so now she's scared. None of them want to come out. They're afraid of him because they remind them of my dad. And it's really hard for me to even talk about DID because I'm still learning. But I'm going to go for now, and I'll probably do another video later. This was really, really hard. But I really appreciate the support. But I wish he would be more understanding and not. He knows my triggers, and he knows how to push my buttons. And that's not healthy for me. Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate y'all. And I hope that didn't trigger anybody. I didn't want to go into details and stuff, but there are so many triggers. And how do you avoid all the things that are daily? Like even taking a shower, I have to close my eyes. But maybe I'll do another video where, if anybody wants to, and I'll make sure that I put a double trigger warning or something, because this was very, very, love you too, sweetie. This group is amazing. I know that I probably upset people last night with my posting that I was taking a break from the group. But y'all are all I have, really, having the support, and the few friends that I have outside of this group as well. No, I don't really get that many phone calls. I don't have family left, except for my son and my 3 dogs, and they're my support. Without them, I don't, you know, y'all keep me going. And I haven't been inpatient in 2 years. And like I said, I'm going to be going, starting next month, I'll be going 2 times a week to my therapist until I leave. And I had spoken about before that she really kind of changes the subject when I talk about my DID. And I got her to listen and me talk about it. So I'm hoping that when I get to California that I can find somebody that deals with sexual trauma, childhood trauma. And this is the hardest word. I need to say this word, incest, which is hard to say. But I need to deal with this. I need to move forward. I need to be able to not be afraid to walk out the house and be afraid anymore. I've been hurt by over 100 guys. And a lot of those times is because I was paralyzed. I couldn't, or I was drunk and I didn't know, or I was drugged. And like I said, all those guys got in trouble except for one. And like I said, for when I feel ready, I'm going to be calling that academy for my dad because he should not be around kids. Thank y'all so much. I really, I thought he was coming out, and so that's why I was going to end it, but I don't know how long I've been talking for. And I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all so much. And thank you, Jody. Thank you, Eric. I really, this was not easy for me. And y'all can message me anytime. If y'all have Messenger, doing the video chat, Hi, Rhonda. I'm just, I really opened up a lot more than I think. I'm glad that we are doing these live videos, even though they're hard. But I'm hoping that they help other people to open up as well. Thanks, Charity. I appreciate it. And y'all can message me if you like. If you, like I said, about the grounding techniques, or setting boundaries, or anybody knows about gaslighting and stuff. If you want to message me, I'm going to share, find some stuff on that. Because I know that a lot of us deal with gaslighting, even if we don't know it. And I've told my husband many times that he's doing it. And I agree, Eric. And I hope that everybody has a great day. But we need to, when we have triggers or flashbacks, we have to find a coping skill that works well for each one of us. It's like medications. Not all medications are going to work for the other. We have different body chemistries. And so I can only take my anxiety med. None of the other medications help me. They make me worse. And like I said, I haven't been inpatient in 2 years. I was inpatient 36 times. That last time, 2 years ago, they were going to do ECT. But when I got there and was admitted, they were discharging me already, and it was going to take 3 days. Because they said I didn't qualify, even though I have a long list of medical issues, and but I've had no suicidal thoughts, never any homicidal thoughts. The suicidal thoughts and attempts have not been in 2 years, and that is a very good thing. I think that was because I quit drinking 2 years ago in April, and that was not just because of my health, but I felt like I was, I think that with me having DID and disassociating a lot, I think that's not a good combo. And also with the driving, I can't drive because of the disassociation. And plus, with your own medication, especially pain medications like Eric, you can't drive. You shouldn't. It's dangerous because you don't really know and stuff. Yes, it can cause extra problems. I mean, I'm not judging anybody else if they drink, because I used to binge drink, and that was my escape. Then I found other ways to cope, like getting tattoos that stopped me from cutting, and it doesn't hurt. And I thought before, it's self-mutilation. I did an essay in school about suicide, and man, I was already counselor aide for 2 years, my 11th grade and 12th grade year, and my AP English 4 teacher brought it to the counselor, and she's like, "Are you okay, Kira?" She goes, "Why don't you come and talk to me?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Your essay, your paper." And I'm like, "No, I'm okay. I was just wanting to write about it because so many people don't want to talk about it, the risks and safety issues about it, and the support, and people need to be there for each other, because if we don't have it at home, of course we're going to look for it somewhere else. If you're not going to therapy, I would at least call the hotlines and stuff if you ever feel or have any thought, because it can take 2 seconds. And it's like those medications for me made my symptoms worse. And like when I would disassociate and my ultras would come out, and one of them was the one that was suicidal. I'm not sure which one. I'm still learning about it. But if anybody wants to message me and stuff, but I'm safe. I haven't thought about anything or anything. It's been 2 years. And I'm proud of myself for that. And this was really hard for me, and I really appreciate y'all for the support. If y'all want to message me, you can. And I will talk to you later. I think this helped, kind of a little, and I hope it does help other people, and I hope that I didn't trigger anybody. We are all together. I know you're not alone, and I'm here for y'all too. Hugs.